Hey guys, my name is Adam, welcome to NutBulb, and today I'll be showing you guys how to make a secret wood fidget spinner. Now before I get started, I'd just like to give credit to a YouTuber called Peter Brown. He made a secret wood ring and bowl on his channel, and it's really well done, so go check him out. I'll leave the links in the description below. So yeah, I saw those two videos and I thought it would be cool to have the exact same thing, but as a fidget spinner instead. So here is my take at the secret wood fidget spinner. I hope you guys like it. Let's get started. First, you're going to need a piece of plywood. Mine is about 6 mm thick. I got it from Daiso. And I tried to create the splintered wood effect from this piece. Now I tried whacking it with a rubber mallet and a few other methods to split the wood, but it wasn't easy to split it the way I wanted to. So eventually I resorted to artificially creating the effects using a wire cutter and ripping out chunks of wood on my own. Now I think this method worked pretty well and it turned out almost exactly the way I wanted it, so that was good. Next I created a mold using some scrap acrylic pieces. Now when you're doing this, make sure that you use enough glue to waterproof all the sides, and you can test this by filling it up with water and checking if there's any leakages. But make sure you dry it well afterwards. I then went to measure how much resin I would need later on by filling it up with rice and then pouring it into a cup. Now before you paste anything into the mold, you want to make sure that you clean the surface well and get rid of any sawdust that's inside. This is important because the wood pieces will want to float to the top of the resin once you put it in. So once you've cleaned it out, you can go ahead and paste the planks into place using some double-sided tape. It's also a good idea to apply some mold release so that it's easier to remove the cured resin later on. However, if you do not have mold release, you could alternatively use Vaseline or Vicks. Now I use Vicks and applied a very thin layer onto the inside of the mold. Next, I mixed up some easy cast resin in a 1:1 ratio. Now this ratio will depend on the type of resin that you're using, so do check the instructions of your specific resin. I then colored it with about 1 to 3 drops of food coloring. Now make sure you mix it very well and then pour it into the mold. And leave it on a flat leveled surface for about 5 days until the mixture is completely cured. Now while waiting for the resin to dry, I went ahead and prepared the bearings. I got 3 standard skateboard bearings, removed the caps, sprayed some WD-40 and then placed them in rubbing alcohol to sit for a few hours. Then dried them and replaced the caps. Now for the center bearing, I got a hybrid ceramic bearing which allows for a lot smoother spinning, but of course it comes at a bit higher of a cost at about $3 to $4. Now I'll try to find Amazon links for this type of bearings along with some of the other materials for this project, and I'll leave them in the description below if you'd like to check them out. After waiting 5 days, I removed the cured resin from the mold. And then I printed the template, which I'll leave in the description below. I then traced the shape and marked the drill points. I then went ahead to start drilling using a 22 mm drill bit. Unfortunately, the bit that I got was not perfectly straight, it was slightly slanted, so most of the holes that I drilled were off-centered, plus it also caused the wood to split. So I was forced to make another batch, and this time I made a spare just in case, and I had to wait another 5 days for this to cure. After waiting another 5 days, I took it out of the mold, and this time instead of tracing out the template, I instead pasted it on with double-sided tape. I then went ahead and took a smaller drill bit and a Dremel to create the holes just like in my previous fidget spinner video. I then use a handsaw and a Dremel to cut out and shape the rest of the spinner. Now once I was happy with the shape, I had to remove the double-sided tape. Now in hindsight, using tape was not the best idea because it was very hard to get off the piece. Instead, I would recommend simply tracing over the shape. It's a lot easier and saves you a lot of work. Once I got most of the tape off, I went ahead and dry sanded the pieces down from 240 to 400 grits. I then wet sanded it from 600 to 1000 grit. Lastly, I applied some plastic polish to provide a very smooth and clear finishing. Unfortunately, the car polish I'm using here is not exactly the best polish for this kind of surface. If you want a better finishing, I would recommend you buy polish that is made specifically for resin or higher quality plastic polish. But for me, this was good enough, so I went ahead and put the bearings in place using some hot glue. And that's it. You're done. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. I just wanted to say sorry that it came out so late. I was planning to post it about a week earlier, but because of the complications, it extended it another week. So thank you for being so patient. As per usual, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at NutBulb, and that's it. So remember to comment down below telling me what you want to see me make in my next video. And that's it for me today, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay awesome. Bye.